Hello everyone and welcome back to Worth Your Coins series. I'm your host AJ and here I have the highly anticipated Atomfall. Today I'll be covering the gameplay mechanics, new features, and what the team at hudreports think about the newly dropped Atomfall. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Starting off, the game is set in northern England during a devastating wind-scale nuclear disaster. This spine-chilling journey merges cutting-edge sci-fi and folk horror, drawing players into a forbidden quarantine zone. The game's innovating approach to storytelling allows you to complete freedom to uncover its mysteries through interconnected, optional story leads, all while managing resources and fighting for survival in its contaminated landscape. With its first-person combat system, intricate crafting mechanics, and the ability to forge your own path through its atmospheric open world. Let's get into more details about the story and characters. The introduction mission was not executed really well in establishing the story. The game starts with a character who wakes up in an underground vault and has no clue how he ended up there. You're giving a vague mission by a desperate survivor dude, and then you just venture out into this world you know nothing about, where you get to learn a bit of the open world by investigating and interacting with other characters. The open world is set northern English countryside. You know, like villages, pubs, stone row houses, rivers, fields, red phone booths. However, the open world kinda gives off a Chernobyl vibes. You know, like closed off area with huge walls after a big nuclear science disaster. Almost similar to Wasteland in some areas, and whatever surrounding civilization was nearby is just stuck in it, and it's forced to just survive and live however they can. In terms of gameplay, overall performance is really smooth, even on high setting. We played on PC and surprisingly ran really well. I didn't really notice any bugs in the game, again, surprisingly. In terms of lighting, animations for walking and killing was executed well. However, there are some abandoned buildings that just unfortunately look completely deserted and kind of cheap and blank. In terms of the setting of Northern England, the game looks stunning. It's also just a unique setting. The English village with its home and the pubs, but also filled with like nasty soldiers and barbed wired and cool old sci-fi robots stomping around. It really just feels like a unique vision. And gameplay time. I didn't really know what the game was going into. Like I was completely clueless for the first half hour into this game, because the game just like tosses you into the world with no help. And no quest marker to follow, and just some vague clues, and due to how weak you are, you have to sneak around enemies, until eventually you find a friendly NPC or the main town where you can start figuring shit out. Like, what's going on here? What's most interesting is that Atomfall is like an investigation game. Honestly, you're just wandering around and trying to figure out stuff. For example, there's a task where you need a battery to unlock a big mechanical door, and there are a variety of ways to get one. But the game doesn't spell it out for you. Like, what? There's no quest marker, no nothing. Depending on what you stumble into, it can be a straight pain. Like you have to help an NPC do one thing and then another thing. But first, you got to do them a favor and help somebody else. Or you could just find a note, or maybe somebody told you where it is. Or you could just stumble upon one out in the wild. You know, the game is essentially you collecting the leads and wandering around and pursuing those leads in a non-orderly fashion. I will say that all these leads, clues, hints, and stuff just keep stacking up and aren't organized very well in the menu. But like when you wander over to a new town or a region or backtrack to another one, always know there is a bunch of shit to poke around or pursue. Despite all of that, the undirected approach that this game has kinda work, because you're slowly piecing together the world and all the story while just climbing out of an endless hole of unclear quests. You're pretty much looking for answers to something mysterious going on, but also looking for a way out of this zone with the help of a few distinct people. Lastly, the combat in this game can use some help. However, the shooting feels pretty good and the aiming is responsive. But the melee, which the game relies on majority of the times, is not very good. Teachers. Thank you. I know I have a great voice. Plus, the coffee just kicked in, so I'm becoming fidgety. So let's just get over with this before I become silly. Now, in Atomfalls, strategizing and crafting is a really big thing. From crafting Molotovs in First Aid. But when playing with inventory controls and thrombles can sometimes lead to some encounters that are messy. Especially at the start. You have a small inventory at the start and a few bullets, so you have to sneak past a large group of soldiers, or just avoid confrontation. Like literally they'll see you and respond by saying, "Hey, take it easy, get out of here," or "Are we going to have a problem?" So if you just keep your distance and stay far away, you can save bullets and troubles. It does sort of feel weird how much you can avoid conflict sometimes, but it also just again is another thing that makes the game feel a little different and unique. Let's talk about combat. You can do stealth kills easily because the enemies are pretty dumb. They often just kinda run towards you, or they're easily baited or forgetful, and occasionally, they get stuck places. Lastly, the game's resource system is based around trade and exchanging. There's no currency, like there's no money at all. So traders and shop owners want stuff and they give you stuff in return. Giving you a lot more to think about when it comes to inventory management. Also, be sure to loot and find weapons because finding items can give you points in a skill tree. It's really limited skill tree which can take some time, but some of it is necessary. Like, I do recommend the gun upgrade because as mentioned earlier, crafting is important in this game and it's cool to craft better weapons. Now, Atomfall has brought its own uniqueness, a game that is set in northern England during a nuclear disaster, that merges sci-fi and horror, drawing players into a forbidden quarantine zone, using its innovative approach for storytelling, allowing players complete freedom to uncover its mysteries through different story leads, all while managing resources and fighting for survival in its contaminated landscape. That said, if you're looking for a new, unique open-world RPG, then Atomfall might be worth your coins. But don't expect anything groundbreaking. Overall score is 2 out of 5 coins. Not worth your coins at full price. Maybe if it were to be on sale. If you're not trying to empty your wallet. There you have it, guys. That's been our review. Let us know in our comment section below if you're guys planning to pick up Atomfall or not. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you for watching. And remember, this is Worth Your Coin, the series where we sacrifice our wallet and sanity so you don't have to. Until next one, peace out.